Hello, everyone. Great to see you again today. I'm Manuela
Hello.
and Daniel. We're here for another talk, and so I just want to introduce the subject because we just had this conversation on how to name this talk, and this is what we came up with after like a while of debating, and so we decided to name our conversation today, how do I know I agree with myself? And actually, I love this title because, as I was just saying, I just having the title, I know it's the right title because I have no more questions. The conflict is over. So, so this is our title, and this is our exploration for today. So, so this is where I start, and I would like to open the space for you guys, and maybe start with any one of you wants to start. Any one of you is inspired by that question?
Okay, so I can start with that. I'm going to start with a question myself. So, do you feel, Zorka, that having the right question is going to bring you the right answer and it's going to solve the question in itself without even having to answer the question? Because it seems that by having asked the right question, you already solved your question, so you have no more questions. So that's my question to you. Could you say that in this case, having the exact appropriate question formulated properly leads naturally to the answer without having to do nothing and things are taken care of? Is that kind of this how this could work?
I don't know if I would say it that way, but it goes that along that line, because it's when I heard myself actually ask the question, um, something just went. There was no more like back and forth in my mind or trying to figure it out. So that is a sign for me that something is aligned. There's different places in myself, my mind and my emotional self and my physical experience are coming into some kind of alignment. And that brings me to a place of neutrality, which is actually neutrality is a very unifying principle. And in that unified principle, it says it by itself, everything is one in one place, and it has no more conflictual interactions. So yeah, I would say asking the right question is a really important thing because um, if we ask the right questions, the it opens a space for the answers to start coming in and weaving into this conversation. Yeah.
But so, because I have a feeling, and let me just ask you one more little thing. I have a feeling that actually you were not looking for an answer once you had the question. You were not like, oh, this is the question, so where is the answer? You were really with the question, and then naturally something happened as you kind of shared on different levels of your being, like right in a felt sense more than an intellectual one where things where the answer is here without looking for the answer. That's a little bit the feeling that I had from how you said it or you shared it. Is that accurate?
Maybe it's a little different.
Okay, okay.
You know, I'm an energy person. So when um, I ask the right question, it feels like something starts to move. And because when things are aligned, I think when we ask the right question, things align to each other to open a space for the answers to come, not as like, oh, I asked a question, but something starts to inform us because the energy starts moving through us. And so this is what happens. And I don't even know what it is that will come because really asking the right question means like we don't have the answer. So I don't really know what I'm looking for, because if I would know, it would not be new. It would not be something that would really inform me. And so asking that question and finding that place of alignment that opens a space for answers to come will bring something new that will make me evolve with the movement I'm in. This is what comes to me, really.
Hmm. Hmm. Oh, thank you. So how would that be for you, Aman?
Actually, when Zorka said that, what came to my mind, I remember a technique that we were. I don't know if you remember it. Do you remember when we had a very busy mind, and I was asking you to have a peripheral vision and look the whole view?
Hmm.
Look at uh, focus your gaze to one point, but open your eyes and see the whole view. When
Hmm.
you do that, all of a sudden your mind is empty.
Mhm.
That's a technique we are using through the eyes, through the sight, to slow down the mind. Okay? What she asked, that question, it's like all of a sudden she created a question. Then when she asked herself, her mind got uh, completely silent. That's another technique. Actually, we have it in the same thing in emotion. There are certain emotional technique. We do it. So the whole, not only the mind, body, and emotion, they completely calm down and relax. So I think what happened in that question, the frontal lobe completely got silent because there was no conflict to fight, or there is no pull or push. So all of a sudden, this dropped and the whole connection opened up on her heart. That's my perception, and that's the way I think it works.
Hmm.
That's great. I love this.
Hmm. Hmm. Oh. Hmm. Yeah, this feeling of opening and having information come from everywhere, not just from that one spot that you look at or you think that's probably where the answer could be, because you never know where the answer could be. If you ask an honest question, you don't have the answer. Otherwise, you're not asking an honest question. It's like asking the question to the little child, where is the handkerchief in one hand, and you have the answer. You have still ask the question, but it's not the same than asking a really honest question about something you really feel you don't know, and you would have preferably receive an answer. So yeah, I like that. I like that. Hmm.
And the question that she asked, how do I know?
Mhm.
How do I know that? What was the rest of it?
How do I know that I agree with myself?
How do I know that I'm agree with myself? So it's like I come up with a conclusion. How do I know this conclusion? Every part of me agree with it, or minimum, some part are not disagree, or they are aligned even though they are not agree. How do I know? I have this consensus. How do I know? One thing I know about myself physically, my body completely go to a state of relax
Mhm.
and a sense of security. There is no fight in my body. And my mind gets silent and focused. And my emotion goes to this, it's like standing on the verge of something exciting that I don't know what it is. And also at the same time, this peace that never ends. So it's a very weird experience. And anytime I have that, I know, okay, I am in a place that is like all of a sudden everybody in the house, that each one they were going their own way with what we said or what we did, everybody are together, and they are like this. They are waiting to see what would happen. So that's my experience. I don't know if it makes sense to you guys.
Absolutely. I love the way you describe this, because this is exactly the way it feels to me. I mean, what you described is exactly how I absolutely can totally like go with exactly what you just shared. So,
But so that brings in actually the dimension that when you say how do I know that I agree with myself, it opens another question that might be maybe a bigger one than the first one. What is myself? And that's not today's topic. We are very clear. This is not today's topic, and otherwise we're probably going to be here tomorrow still talking about that. But I think what I hear, like from what you guys shared so far, is that there is definitely different parts inside of you, and the agreement is with they need to include different parts of you. These different parts need to be included, not just your mind or just oh yeah, my body, because it's going to be very relaxing to do that, so my body agrees. Maybe my mind is saying, well, no, you lazy bum, you need to move. So that's not an agreement. The agreement needs to come from all the different parts of your being. And what I hear, and you guys tell me if this is accurate, but to really listen, to be in an open way, as you suggested at the beginning, Zorkan, to listen to these different parts. And when they all come together, they will look at that, what is going to happen next, and they're excited. Then there is an agreement between these different parts. And is that right? That maybe the key of agreeing with yourself is these different parts. Are these different parts of me agreeing? My mind, my emotions, my body, my intuition, maybe. And is there any other? My breath, maybe my heart, right? My heartbeat. Is my heartbeat easy with this? Is my heart with this? Is my heart agreeing with this project or this direction? Right? Is there any other parts that you guys could identify that is important?
My spirit.
Your spirit. Oh yeah.
My soul.
Yeah. So how do you listen to your spirit? How do you know your spirit is agreeing? Because this is something pretty subtle. I mean, for lots of us, our spirit is not necessarily something we can touch like very simply every day. So how do you feel your spirit is agreeing?
There's been like they've done studies and pictures of different emotions in our body and our field, and they have found out that actually joy is the only emotions that takes up the whole system, the whole body. So I experience joy when all of these parts are taken into consideration and they can all live together. And in that moment, when I feel that joy, I know my spirit is fully present.
And then could you say that if your spirit is fully present and you feel that joy, that then you could say, you could assert that you agree with yourself in that case when that is there?
Yeah, it's another part of how to identify that. Like
Right.
Aman was saying a few different things, and that's another piece. For sure.
It's another angle of tuning into this agreement or this question of do I agree with myself?
Yes.
Right. Yeah, beautiful.
So maybe we should get to a place where we find some things to ground different pieces that we've talked about, so that you all guys that are listening can take those pieces with you. And
so maybe if I, from what I since I feel that I'm a little bit the one who is like holding a little piece of that, asking more questions than answering them. But what I heard from you guys is that there is one part that is crucial, is asking the question in a very clear way, asking the right question to say, quote unquote, or the most refined way of asking the question is important. That's number one, right? And then to listen to our different parts inside. We mentioned our heart, our body, our mind, our emotions, our spirit. You also mentioned your soul. Is there anything else that comes about the different parts that need to be listened to inside?
Yeah, I think there's a inner knowing that we all have. We know when things are right. There's something inside of us that knows, even though we cannot say, oh, it's this and this and that, but we know when something is right. And it's like that sesame open, open, like,
The door?
and I feel like asking the right question opens the door to the cavern of richness, of everything that's available, and then things can start move. So it's not so much about having answers, but it's more about the asking the right questions.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm. Okay. And listening at the same time to yourself more than outside, actually. That's also maybe something that comes at the moment, is the listening is not so much outside to listen for an answer to your question, but because you ask the right question, maybe you have the answers inside with the coherence of these different parts to be aligned. And the result, or one of the results, could be to feel this joy. Because I have to say, for me, it works in a pretty similar way. When I feel that I'm aligned with myself, I'm agreeing with myself to go in a certain direction or do a certain project. Then I also feel this joy, this energy that is here, a little bubbly. I feel it a little bubbly, a little excitement, and a lot of clarity. When things are right, when I agree with myself, then it seems it's easy as it can be. It feels very easy to do it also. Usually it might be like it might be challenging, but it's going to be easy no matter what. It feels like there's ease with it. When I tune into that ease, it's something I'm coherent with myself. So what about you, Aman? Is there one thing, like Zorka said, like the joy or your spirit that is manifesting or present, or anything like that for you, Aman, that is the manifestation of your coherence?
Mainly, I always check my body, because my body is the only part of me that is always in present time.
Mm.
And so, if very practical example, I say, in my coachings, when I had people, I had a lots of young people, men or women, that they were trying to go for dating, and they were saying, how do I know if this is going to be a good date when we are sitting with that person? I said, the first thing, check your body, be
Mm.
present to your body.
Mm.
Do you feel relaxed when you're sitting and talking to this person, or you're tense? How do you breathe? How is your heart? Do you enjoy yourself, or you're fearful, or you feel insecure? All of these feelings, constantly your body is telling you. So for me, it goes, the main tool is my body, and it's like this thing. One side is inside of me and one side is outside, and at the same time, the information of outside, how it's impacted my inside, I see how it's impacted on my inside.
Mm.
That's the way I look at it.
Mm.
So it's like, even I'm driving and I see this message on a billboard, it has an impact on my inside. And that experience, is it opening me or closing me?
Mm.
When I feel relaxed and open, that means there is an alignment of my body with that, alignment my mind with that, or emotion. It's, as Zorka said, feel joyous. Because anytime I'm in a joy is not only my emotion, my mind in a certain place that I can experience that, and my body is in a certain place.
Mm.
So all of a sudden, everything is come in that place that we say, oh, I feel so joyful.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what I said, it makes sense,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a matter of experiencing it. And one thing I know, if I was listening to this conversation 35 years ago, I was saying, what these guys are saying? I was not in my body. Actually, 45 years ago, I was not in my body. I was constantly in my head, and I was concerned, insecure, and I was trying to have an answer for everything. That person could not even understand what these three people are talking. And I was in pain. I had lower back pain. I had gastritis, I had colitis, all of these things. I was not present. And as soon as I got present, the pain was hurting me. So I hope some of the people who hear this make sense of what we are sharing. But it's a result of some persistent experience that we have done during last 30 some years, each one of us, that we are coming up with this conversation. I hope it makes sense.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Aman. Yeah. Well, what comes out very clearly for me in this whole little conversation is that there is always a very positive feeling about a feeling, a sensation, let's put it this way. And the sensation cannot just be in your mind. The sensation is somehow related to the body, right? And the nervous system, which is the interface like that goes between the energy and the body, that brings the sensations in the body, and vice versa, because there is reciprocity, is really the sensation that makes it clear that something is aligned and works. This joy, a good sensation, right? Yeah. So Zorka, you started this question with this beautiful sharing of yours, that once you have so much clarity, there is no more questions. So since we went around the block one time today, I think in a very succinct, simple way, but how do you feel now? What is here now for you after having questioned the question and what's around and how it all works, and taking it apart and hopefully putting it together a little bit again? So where are you now with this question?
It's like this Zen saying where they say, like, when you start on the path, a mountain is a mountain. And while you travel the path, a mountain is everything else but a mountain. And at the end of the path, a mountain is a mountain, but you don't have any questions anymore. That's how I feel. It's like when we come to this place, I mean, I love everything that's shared, because I think we all have places where we still travel the path and where we have questions that we haven't answered yet. And so hopefully, I mean, some of the answers we got through that question will answer some questions that needed answers for people that are listening, and will help some of us on the path. And it's exciting. I love that. I love that. Thank you.
Mm. Oh,
Everyone.
thank you very much. Thank you for those beautiful, enlightening sharings. Wishing you a beautiful end of your day, and let's see you next week.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.